Bam! It's time for a review. What we're going to look at today, this is a haul. This is a BAM Reviews haul. What we're going to look at today is I went to my local Comicon, and, they had a bunch of toys in there. It's a lot of comics, but, they got some toys in there too. And, old BAM, he likes to find a deal or two. So, see, these are some of the things I picked up. I kind of want to go through them. I'm going to do reviews on the channel later, but kind of want to go through them now, show them off a little bit, and maybe you get a sneak peek at what's coming up on the old channel. All right, let's just dive in. I'm going to start with these guys here. All right, so this is the retro G.I. Joe Troopers pack from Hasbro. They released this. I've been doing some reviews of some retro goodness from Hasbro, so check out my channel. I've reviewed some of those dudes on there. Trying to remember now. Definitely the Stinger driver. He was one of these retro guys. So, when I saw this at the Comic-Con, and I've been kind of diving into some 3.75 goodness, I just couldn't pass it up. When this thing was released, Hasbro sold them, and I think they sold pretty well. I think they might have sold out, but they came back, and they're kind of there now. You can probably get them. This is the back. Now your look here is a little. You see that price right there, $30. So I was talking to the guy, and he was a really nice dude. So we got talking a little bit. We were talking about his Megatron. He had one of those robotic Megatrons, super expensive dudes, Roboson Megatrons. I thought it was pretty cool. We were talking about that, and little BAM. My son picked this up, and I asked the dude, hey, how much for those troopers over there? And he said 20, but I'll give it to you for 15. And I was buying some Pokemon cards too and stuff like that. And I was like, 15 for those two guys? He's like, yeah, why not? I was like, all right, man, deal. And here we go. I haven't opened them up yet. I'll do that on another video. But yeah, I mean, look, this box is pretty cool. I like it. But old BAM, man, I'm going to rip these guys out, and we're going to see what they are. So look forward to that in a future review. All right, let's move right along. Let's start with this. This is the G.I. Joe versus Cobra. Steel Corps Commander versus Twilight Guard. Now, you done see there, the Twilight Guard, he done ran away. He's out of his plastic prison. That's because little BAM, he wanted the Twilight Guard, so he snagged that. And I was stuck with the Steel Corps Commander right here. Now, if you're a parent, these kids have to pick something. They have a certain amount of money they can spend, and we were getting on there in time, and we had to go. And this is the only thing he wanted. So, his budget paid for that guy, and I got this Steel Corps Commander guy. Now, he's a little short, I think. I passed on the original Steel Brigade. This is like Hasbro's version of Steel Brigade. I passed on them, so this, I think, will be the only one that I have in my collection. But, hey, man, what are you going to do? This was full price. See right there? I had no deals here. The kid had like $30 to spend, so he got his dude, and I got my dude. What are you going to do? Parenting 101. All right, there's the back. Pretty cool. All right, moving right along. Now, this little thing on the top here, let's go ahead and talk about that for a minute. So now this is the Holy Grail. If you're into these Lego minifigures, if you've ever looked for these before, there's usually one or two. This is a CMF collectible minifig, right? So you go into a store, there'll be a bunch of these like Target. And then these are all the figures that are in this particular line. This is series 27 right there. So there's usually chase ones inside of here, right? Now, in this particular series 27, the chase one was the Wolf Knight. And I like me some Lego Knights stuff, so I wanted to get myself a Wolf Knight, right? So I was at a ton of Targets. You can get an app where you can scan this. So if you want to scan that, you can scan this code right here and it'll tell you what it is. So I've been to a bunch of Targets and I've been scanning this particular series forever, looking for a Wolf Master Knight. And I walked up to this guy's booth at the Comicon and I saw 4 of these. And I said to him, I said, "Is that what I think it is?" And he's like, "Yes, it is." And I'm like, "You've got to be kidding me." And he said, "You're the only person that knew what this was." I'm like, "That's the Wolf Knight?" And he's like, "Yes, it is." I'm like, "Oh, man." Now, these things retail for like, I don't know, $5, something like that, to get these minifigs, maybe 6. I don't remember, to be honest with you, but he was selling them for 15. Now, this particular Wolf Knight is just super crazy to find. So I'm gonna go ahead, after I'm finished the review here, I'm gonna go ahead and I'll open this up to show you guys the Wolf Knight, so you can see what I'm talking about. But pretty cool to find that. I didn't like that I had to pay $15 for it, but I was never gonna see it. If you buy it on eBay, it's probably gonna be like $20, something crazy. So I was like, all right, I'll get it. All right, last thing, but certainly not least. All right, look at this. Now, this piece here is a piece from the Valor versus Venom line back in the day. And look inside of there, man. You've got a Hiss tank, and you've got 3 Crimson Guard troopers. I think that's what they are, but you've got the Hiss tank. There's one dude up there in the actual cannon as well, and the 2 guys in the front, and it has this thing on the back here, right? This it tows this gun system. Man, look how cool that is. I just could not pass this up. So the box here is kind of destroyed. You see this here? So from a collectible standpoint, it's kind of really beat up. Crimson Guard, 3 Crimson Guard figures with removable helmets is what it says. So if you look on here, this is back, 2004 is what it says on the bottom here. Look at that, man. That is so cool. This is an attached anti-aircraft gun tow hook and rotating gun turrets. Now, when I looked at this, let me tell you, this was sitting up pretty high on the shelf. Let me get the camera here. This was sitting pretty high up on the shelf, and underneath it was an even bigger set that had a Hiss tank inside of it, and it had the tank from G.I. Joe, the Mobat, I think it was called, like G.I. Joe, the actual Joe's tank was inside of that, and like a trouble bubble and a bunch of figures and all that stuff was under this, and it had like $160 price tag on it, right? So I looked at this and I saw this $60 price tag, and I could not believe it, right? Because I mean, this $60, you'll pay what, 30 for a Hiss tank from Hasbro these days, and to get 3 figures, these figures alone on the secondary market are probably worth $30, $35. And then the gun attachment as well. I mean, this is an amazing deal for $60. So I picked it up and I found a little hang tag off the side. And I looked at it, and the hang tag had $160 on it. So I had this $60 price tag, and then I had the hang tag. Now I lost the hang tag. Unfortunately, I was going to keep that to show y'all, but it was in the bag and got lost. So, but yeah. So I talked to the guy and I'm like, "Hey, I see this hang tag here. What's the real price on this set?" And he's like, "Yep, $60. And I was like, "All right, I'll take it. Done deal." I mean, what are you going to do for this? Like, this set alone on eBay is probably $160. That's probably the true price. But I just think that at that Comic-Con, it's a local small Comic-Con. They weren't getting a lot of people coming to it, so they probably need to make some money to get back the fees for selling there. So this is an amazing deal. So when you go to these Comic-Cons, you got to try to haggle. You shouldn't just look at the sticker price and say, "All right, $160, done," right? Unless it's something you truly want for your collection. You should try to get them down, try and get a little bit off, shave a little bit off the top. You know what I'm saying? All right, so this is this. I mean, this thing's pretty cool here. Poof. Bam. It is I, the one you call good Storm Shadow. Hey there, good Storm Shadow. What are you doing, man? Like, why are you interrupting my review here? Well, isn't it about time for a size comparison? Well, this really isn't, your traditional review, so I wasn't really gonna do a size comparison, but, like, you're making me a little nervous, man. Like, why are you here? You and I both know why I am here. I've seen the reviews, Bam. I've seen your subscriber numbers, and you definitely need help. I have decided to directly help you with your reviews. Oh, really? You're gonna help me? What are you gonna do, man? Like, you gonna do some tricks or something for us? You gonna jump up and down? How about you just go over there with the rest of the toys? No, Bob. Now is the time for a size comparison. Oh, okay, man. You're making me a little nervous. Maybe we should do a size comparison. I don't know. I guess I can compare Steve to the size of a box or something. I mean, if that's what you want, that's what we'll do. Bam! And what we have here is Steve. Steve is your standard 4-inch action figure. Chink! Oof. Ugh. Oh my God! Storm Shadow, you're supposed to be the good guy. What's going on, man? Why'd you do that to Steve? Man, what's the deal here? And Steve is dead again. Man, Storm Shadow, you better start talking, buddy. I'm a banish you into the darkest box that I have in this house. You know what I'm saying? Talk about a plastic prison on overload. Bam. You and I both know that the whole purpose of the size comparison is to kill Steve. You do it every review. It doesn't matter how many viewers you have. You murder this guy every review. Okay, Bam. So you have achieved your desired end state with Steve. Let me check his life signs. Let's make sure he is truly dead. Okay. Yes. Yes. He is dead. This man has died. Yeah, I mean, you did it, Storm Shadow. Like, I didn't do it. You're supposed to be the good guy in G.I. Joe. What's going on with that? Bam, you know the purpose of this. I have seen everything that I needed to see today. Goodbye. And just like that, he's gone. Steve, man, look what you done did. Did you get good Storm Shadow mad at you? You even get the good guys mad at you, man. I don't understand. All right, man, get out of here. Poof. All right, man. Before we get on out of here, I said that I would open up this package to show y'all what the Wolfmaster dude looks like. So here he is. There he is. Check him out. Pretty cool. I'll get him kind of close so you can see. Look at that new Lego sword. Man, Lego Storm Shadow. Lego Snake Eyes, man. You know, it's with the Lego hands. You might be interested in something like that. That's quite the sword there. He's got a standard shield, this time with a wolf on it. Because, you know, he's like the Wolfmaster or something. He's got a nice pattern on his chest there. We won't do a full review, but I just kind of wanted to show him off. And he's got a nice cape. This is a leather kind of cape. Printing on the face is kind of nice. I get him in there real close. Printing on the legs. Printing on the arms. Got some facial hair there. Kinda cool. Got some chainmail. Look at that chainmail. That's awesome. Now, is this worth 15 bucks? Eh, I don't know, but I FOMO'd. I didn't think I was going to be able to ever find it. Came with this wolf too. How you going to be a wolf master if you ain't got a wolf? So here's the wolf. Pretty cool. All right, so that's about it for this review. I might do a review on some of these minifigures in the future on my channel. Here's some of the other figures in the collection. I might pick up some of these. I like this beast dude's kind of out of control, and I kind of like the space guy. And I think they have more than just what's maybe not. Here's the instructions. Not too shabby. All right, man. Well, I really do recommend these minifigures, especially, when they release stuff like the Knight, like this guy here. You can't really buy these Legos that much anymore, and getting a good Lego Knights guy is out of control. All right, so we're going to call this one a wrap. This is my Comicon haul. This is a BAM review. I am BAM. I have other videos on my channel. I do some retro goodness. I do some Super 7 goodness, G.I. Joe classifieds, yard sale hauls in general. I also do some tech devices like these lights you see back here. You see these lights on my shelves? Ooh, what are all those about? That was in the last review. Check out my channel. You'll see those. Pretty nice. But that's it for this one. I am BAM, and I'm out.